All right. I want to do it. Hey, how are you?
Oh, good. You. Oops. Working this out. You guys know Chrome has all these cool extensions. What kind of cursor do you guys want? Do you want I can put it
Football and
football.
Football and finger for this Super Bowl.
This one?
She's coming.
All right, cool. Here's why. Then you can actually see something. Whoa. Why can't really point with this though. Oh, there it is. There's the pointer.
Oh, I see why it does it that way. Yeah.
There we go. See, now you can
the
like,
long finger with the number one. That's cute.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a long finger to follow.
I think maybe I'll just put. I think this is going to be the assignment. It's going to be like, how do you click with this thing? Oh my
I hope
god.
it does. That's too funny.
maybe one of these things. Kind of like the teal. You can see that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, cool. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here so you guys can, so we can get this ball rolling. Hi, everyone. Awesome. I have something for you guys. So today we're gonna talk about marketing. And I wanna do things a little different. Is our other Rich coming?
Yeah, he was just throwing emails out. But
Oh,
he's right
okay.
there. He's out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a marketing checklist that I have. The info is there on the bottom. It's from Allie Yerk. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. If you go on there though, because if you go on there, you're gonna like everything you see. Don't buy anything. I already have all of it, so you can get it from me.
Noted.
So, this is a marketing checklist, and I can upload this for you guys too. So just let me know. But basically, we're gonna talk about what marketing, what it actually is, and what this whole session is about. But I wanna, in this world of social media, right? It's a little different nowadays with like what types of stuff there is out there. So even if you like just look at this one, this is a full-time job, right? Like posting to everywhere is a freaking full-time job. There's a way to automate things so that things syndicate from one place to another, including, like if you look at, so the funnels, right? If you, for instance, let's say that one of your Facebook things that you were gonna do, like let's say you want to have a blog as part of your, or every once in a while you create like a longer Facebook post that has a story and all this other stuff. Those can be really time consuming to write, right? Or like even come up with what the heck am I gonna, the content itself. So one way to hack these, like I'm always looking for hacks. One way to hack stuff is if you, let's say you do a video, right? So there's a system, you could do a live, either a live stream video or have a topic that you're gonna talk about to your audience about whether it's, the particular property you're at or whatever. Let's say you talk to them about mortgage rates or what's happening in the market or something like that. You take that video, whether it was live stream, you can still download it from Facebook. And Facebook can also do auto captions, so you can put the captions on it, right? And download it. You can upload it to your YouTube, and not necessarily for the views per se, but like you're creating content for your, like it's not, people don't really go to YouTube for, they go to YouTube for like how-tos, right? YouTube is a how-to something. So it could, you could share it from there then later again too. Hi, Cecily.
I don't know how to say her nickname because I'm like, I know her name's Cecily, but should I go Cece or Ceci on that? I don't know.
We don't know, Cecily. So you take, if you put something on YouTube, YouTube also auto generates captions.
Sorry.
And
No.
when it auto generates the captions from YouTube, you can actually copy and paste the whole thing. So everything you just said, you can take it and put it into a blog.
Oh, sweet.
So what they teach you in this marketing system is you take, like, let's say your goal is all you have to do is shoot one video a week. You literally go click, 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 and it goes everywhere. And then you can generate the blog post from it too. Like, let's say you talk about mortgage rates, you don't have to completely transcribe it. But what they say is take the rough, and then you're gonna take out all your ums and okays and whatever, make it actually coherent English. And then add like emojis and maybe a picture, right? And then that can double as a long post for social media, right? That's stuff that you could put anywhere that looks pretty impressive, when it's in that format. So take a look at this list, and I'm happy to share this with you guys as well. So I'll email it. If you guys put your email in the chat so I know who's here, I'll email you guys this material afterwards. This is not in the Ignite book. Okay, so the other thing is that I know that you guys probably know about the algorithms and stuff, but with today's day and age, we often do like, posting, and then we don't respond to anybody who responds to it, right? So you want to make sure you always comment back, because this is telling the system that they're going to see your stuff more, right? Same thing with beware though, like let's say you have your business page and someone comments on something you post on your business page. When you go to comment back to that person, make sure you're commenting as a business back to the person. That way they keep seeing the business stuff, not just your personal stuff, right? So it has you switch. So there's just a lot of little hacks that I want to show you guys. But before we get there, we talked about this a little bit before, right? So marketing versus prospecting. Right, so today's class is about this side of things, that the top portion of this, but you want to be prospecting based, marketing enhanced. That's why the prospecting section is bigger. You always want to do that, because this isn't going to alone get you the results, right? And when you do this, that's why there's a magnet. So you're going to attract people from here. And in the end, they're still gonna go in here, right? We talked about that last time too. So just because you pay for ads or pay for marketing doesn't mean that you're not gonna ever call them like cold, so to speak, right? There's a couple of examples in this. What's prospecting, what's both, what's marketing? Because some of it can be kind of overlapping, right? These, more active things here. One of the best things that gets taught to us in Bold is something called the phone book exercise. So you go through the phone book, basically, well, back in the day, but you would go through like, okay, you start at A and you go automotive, whatever. So you would think of everybody you know in that field. You go B, like for builders, you think of everyone you know in that field, or baller, or whatever it is that right? Ballers, who's a baller, right? And you go through like the alphabet and the different types of like, plumbers, allied resources, like any kind of people in the area, and you write down those names. And we do this every time in Bold. Well, it's going to start again at the end of March, so I hope you guys all take it. But every time I do this, I think back to the previous year, and I'm like, God, I still haven't called that person. Like there's such a long list of, there's always like one or a few people that I'm like, I still didn't call those. I had this person on my list last year, and you just have so many ahas when you do it. The last year that we did this, and it's like seriously 7 pages. They give you like a prompt, so you don't have to have a phone book, because who the hell has a phone book nowadays? But they give you like a prompt for like all the like people you pay money to, people that went to your wedding, people whose wedding you went to, right? Like all kinds of things, friends of this person, that person, and so it makes you like really think, and you write names down, and then you're supposed to add into your database, right? But like that stuff would go into, this is kind of like a list, the prospecting list here, right? That would fall under, well, it could fall under anywhere really, but like that's what this is, right? We just don't always think that we have enough people to call, but when you start going through it, it's really crazy. Last time we did it, my biggest aha was that it said, do you have your neighborhood, like whoever the landscaper is in the neighborhood, like who you see working on this, street or on the outside. So I'm in a complex, right? So we have contractors all the time who come in and they're super nice, and I'm like, hey Rich, what's up? I don't have their contact info. Why? Right? I should have them. I can put them in touch with people and all kinds of things like that. So you can build your list of people like that way too, right? And then marketing, of course, is just passive stuff that you send out, put out that way, and not necessarily having like there's the yellow pages thing, okay? So, but both, so now we're getting to this in-between thing, right? And I think that we kind of live in this world nowadays because we do need to obviously have the face-to-face time as well, like open houses. But then you have to go back and keep marketing to them. You don't just, that 2 hours there is not gonna, you're looking for a needle in a haystack, right? Afterwards, you're gonna go back, send them a thank you card or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily, so it's gonna mix, right? Because it's not necessarily gonna cost you anything to put people on those drip campaigns and things like that. So just something to think about. I would definitely go through your people, like, you know, your person that does your nails or hair or babysits your kids or, you know.
Is Bold cost money?
Huh?
Is Bold, you have to pay? to be Bold?
Yes, but it's virtual, so it's usually not very much. And then usually the office can sponsor you and then they just take it out of your next 2 deals.
Oh, I got
I don't know how much it's gonna be. I think it was like $200 last time.
Oh, that's
So
much
then-
cheaper than what I had heard through the grapevine, so.
Yeah, well, it used to be $8.99 or something,
The 800
but that was in person. So we're still gonna do it. It's gonna be like in person, sort of. Like we'll all be here together, but then all the offices are gonna be on the Zoom
Okay.
with the instructor once a
Oh.
week.
Mhm.
So it's really cool, but usually, so then the first deal you close, they'll take half of it. And then the second deal you close, they'll take half of it. Hey, good morning or afternoon. I don't know what time it is, 11.
Sorry if you, do you know how long of a program it usually is? How many weeks or if it's not?
Yeah, so it's 7 sessions.
Oh, okay.
It goes for 8 weeks. So we always do like an intro session and then usually we skip 1 week and then then you go for the next 6 sessions.
That might work. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think it's gonna start on March 28th.
No, that might be perfect. I just have a week-long photo obligation, like in the beginning of April, so if that is the thing, if they take that week off, it would be like, oh my god, the heavens aligned.
It'll probably work out for you. I have a
hope
feeling. I have a feeling. All right, so we were just talking about the marketing. Here's a different checklist for you that you can kind of think about what you want to, where you want to post and stuff like that for social media. Okay, so now you don't have to, the thing is that in this day and age, we really don't need to create content, right? You don't want to think of yourself as the video maker because that's not your job. Your job is to document what you're doing. Does that make sense? This is like, I know I always use the Kardashians as an example, but I'm telling you, people want to see like what you're up to. They don't want to see something that you've scripted, right? So think of it more like that. That's why those broker tours and stuff are like, all my business comes from that, from Facebook, always. Because I'm just like, oh my God, look at this wine cabinet, you know, like, you know, I'm not trying to sell the house. They remember that I work in this business because of that,
Yeah.
right? Or like, if like, some of the better things to post are anything having to do with popular culture. So say Marilyn Monroe's condo comes on the market, right? You want people, anything they can associate to real estate, like in the popular culture world, they'll click on it and they'll remember. If you gotta then make sure that they remember who posted it somehow. So hook up your story about, oh my God, you know, I wanna live here or something like that. Okay, awesome. So here's some, let's talk about this a little bit. How do you know where the customer is and how do you meet them there? It's a very vague question, but think of, for instance, buyers in this market. What's their headspace like?
It's too competitive. I don't wanna be stressed out by multiple offers.
So in your marketing, what can you say? What type of marketing would be attractive to that person? Maybe, hey, I've got the best price list, in my opinion, best investments in Torrance, right? And then you start, and I don't know what the best price list is. You just, if they want it, they'll ask you for it, right? And then you go like, oh, why are you interested? Are you looking to buy, right? And okay, so that's where they are. What else? What else could you give some buyers in this market?
Information on the interest rates.
Yeah, they wanna know. I think generally people know that it's low, but they don't understand the impact of what if it goes up, where does it put you, like what Chris said in the team meeting.
Yeah.
So how much buying power, like they don't really get that. If they're waiting for the prices to come down, but interest rates, no matter what, will go up, and prices, well, we're in paradise here. They don't exactly fall, like if you were in the middle of Minnesota, you know, right? So, you know, the chances, you have to be able to tell that to them in English, not in the realtor language, right? Because people don't put we always think that they know what we're talking about, but you know, they don't think about this every day. So, okay, what else? What else?
Monthly payment?
Monthly payment? Totally, yeah. So one of my friends, Sarah, she made a post 2 days ago that was basically like, oh my God, it's a fourplex. And she posted it and she said, this is just like the best investment opportunity. So she said, if you buy this, your monthly payment will be $4,000. It's in Portland, Oregon, okay, it's not here. But she posted a picture of the property and on top of it, she just wrote this info out. Like with 20% down, your payment would be $4,000. There's 4 units, and for each unit, you can easily charge $1,800 for rent. So she goes, you'll have an immediate cash flow of $4,000 a month.
Jeez.
Right? That's what anyone can be like, oh, duh.
That's a savvy investment.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna make them like remember that they want to talk to you instead of, you know.
Yeah.
Huh?
I have to get better at that.
Well,
and understanding it myself too, like in depth, like some of these concepts I understand on their head,
right.
but if I have to go too far into it, I'm like, oh, I still don't quite get it yet.
Yeah, I think if we're specifically talking about, like, for instance, the rental income thing, I would start in your neighborhoods where you can kind of estimate what the rents are. Right? I mean, you can look on your KW app too and switch it over to rentals instead of for sale and see what the area is, like what the going rates are roughly. You know, you don't have to be an expert landlord or anything, but I think if you're in a neighborhood where you kind of understand the neighborhood, then it's an easier place to start.
Sure.
It's super difficult, and that's why they need you to be local, right? Because I wouldn't have known that about that particular neighborhood. Right, I'm not an expert in that neighborhood, so I have no idea what I could charge there. So just breaking it down, right? Payment is very important to many people, and especially if there's an investment cash flow opportunity, right? What else? Where else can you meet them? Maybe off-market properties.
Age of house.
Huh?
Age of property.
Agent property?
Yeah, age of property.
Oh, yeah.
Like a built, like 1971 or like new or old, a new construction.
Yeah, any kind of
And
like
also
special
like,
opportunity.
okay, so I think the front foot of property. Like what would be the front footage and the back, the size of property and the
Like
lot.
ADUs and stuff? Or like,
Okay, so there were some properties like a 50 feet wide and like a 150 feet length.
right,
And if there is a more wider property, so
Yeah.
it's more attractive.
so that they could build more on it, is that what you mean?
Yeah, have
like
more
so.
opportunity.
Or have space between.
They can like a bifurcate in future or some kind of stuff, they can put like more units.
100%, yeah, you guys know the Holly Glen area?
You see me?
Holly Glen, do you guys know where that is?
You know, of it, yeah.
It's if you went up, where are we, closest there, up, if you went up PCH,
North.
and yeah, north, and then it's right where all the freeways meet. It's in a little nook, like in El Segundo, like area.
Oh.
It's like 405 and the 10 and the everything is,
105 and.
yeah, it's that crazy intersection, right?
Oh, really?
So those lots there just was a house that I saw just came on the market. All of the lots in that neighborhood are super deep. And most of the houses, if you look at the satellite view on your MLS, right? Because if you click on the address, you can see the actual, like, where is it on the, what does it look like? The property, the satellite view. So they're super deep. Most of them have like a back house already, but you could like, you can see how much space there is, like what you're talking about. Even, they're just really deep lots. So the house will sit in the front like this, and they don't make it super big. And then you have a little back house over here. You could expand this house, so they're going for like 700,000, right? You expand this house by putting a big family room in it or whatever, and you put an ADU back here, and you turn it around for like $1.5 million.
Is it technically Hawthorne? Is it technically Hawthorne in Hawthorne? Am I looking at the right one?
Yeah.
So
No,
there's,
kinda. It's like, yeah, so if you zoom out just a little, this area right here.
Okay, so one above, okay. Interesting.
Like, yeah, well, all of this is, but especially in here.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then the other thing you wanna know about this area, where does the wind blow from?
West Oakland.
The wind's gonna blow from the coast, right? It's gonna go this way. So this area has different value than that side because all the freeway exhaust goes that way.
There's the concern too about
People
also
have huge concerns about air quality in here.
Yeah.
Like especially
The
kids,
corner lot.
you know, like it affects their mental
Oh,
ability
interesting.
and stuff, yeah. But
I was just gonna say too, because people have a lot of concern about all the industrial stuff in El Segundo being an issue as well. So there's certain places I know in El Segundo, like if you're on this side of the street, then you're in better air quality than this side of it. Yeah.
it's the air, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. There's a website you can go to, airquality.com or whatever, search for it, LA air quality. And you can see, you can pinpoint any given area and on any given day, and it tells you like a meter and what the quality is and how it generally is too.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, okay, so as a realtor, how do we know like a dimension of a property? If some client asks me how big is the lot, and like we know the lot size, but we don't know dimension, like a front footage and the deep depth of property. Because I know I was searching a property for my friend like last year, and I asked the realtor like what's the dimension of the property. It looked like very like you know, like the rent is too much and like the front is very low. So he said, I don't know the people that the survey.
It's on the lot description in there.
Oh.
So if you pull up any listing on the MLS, you find the property there, okay? Right there, it's gonna say the parcel number.
Okay.
If you click on that, it's gonna show an actual map for you. It's like the drawn looking thing with the dimensions on it. I think you can also see it on Realist Tax, on the tax site.
Okay.
So you can check that. I can't remember if they have the picture on there, but you can see it on the MLS. Okay, the parcels are all recorded.
Dimension,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we talked about value proposition in one of the other classes, right? So make sure that, you know, you're communicating that in your marketing too, right? Attaching yourself to the whatever charities or however you want to be viewed in a community, right? There's a similar to this, how can you come from contribution, right? How important do you think branding and aesthetic consistency is in your marketing? And how do you achieve it? So marketing, just like lead generation, it's a lot about consistency. You don't want every single thing you post to look completely different because then it doesn't register in people's brain. So you might want to think about a theme or something for your marketing, right? Not just like one logo, but like what is the color scheme have to be? If you talk to, for instance, our marketing department, the first thing they're going to tell you is like, I want to do very like soft velvety textures for you and like maybe some earth tones, but light pink, right? That's me. So, but you got to come up with this stuff because otherwise you're going to be all over the place. Even in your group, like they say, if you start like a group of anything, like, like for instance, I have like some people do a first time buyer seminar, right? You can do those to lead generate and market it all month long. And then you can do one with Chris on like a Saturday morning here if you want to, and invite a whole bunch of first time buyers so they get to know like what does it take, and then he can qualify them or whatever, right? So there are agents out there who then realize that, hey, either I can have everybody come in the office and have them sign a sign-in sheet and get their information and then try to communicate with them again. Or I can have them join my Facebook group for those people also that they created, right? So now you don't have to email them every time you have to say something. They're gonna keep seeing every time you have a buyer seminar, right? And so so if you did something like that, think of that as like same as your own business page. You want to create consistency in the color scheme so that it's clear to everyone where it came from as it pops up on there. Like repetition is key, right? So there's a little strategy there because it does enhance your recognition if they're not directly on your page. All right, and then how do you or how should you follow up with the leads that you generate from marketing? What do you guys think?
Phone calls, personal notes.
How many phone calls?
7. What was it? Did I get it right?
Until they answer, until they try to go away. Right? Yeah, so I mean, so exactly. So there's a lot of thoughts around that, like what should you do? My recommendation is when a lead comes, let's say you run a Facebook ad, okay, and then someone calls you about it, and you get the name and an address or whatever, or it generates an online lead, you're going to call them, right? And if they don't answer, I would send a text right after it, right? Just to say something, figure it out, what it needs to be, but have a system around it. The next day, you're gonna call them again if they didn't answer, and you're gonna call them at a different time, because maybe that time is just not good for them. Maybe they're at work every time, right? And then you can try different methods, like, okay, maybe now you go to emails, right? So it's important because everyone has a different way that they prefer. And in Command, you can mark it in there also on the tab, like if somebody prefers texting, or, meet them where they are. Okay, so take a look at these. My cursor went back to normal when I got to the theory. Okay, so Command. There's so many cool things in here, you guys. I'm gonna show you in 1 second what you can do and how fast. But before we do, take a look at this one, okay? What is this?
You're invited to an open house, is it? Yeah.
Okay. So
With a lot of pots and pans.
that's the invite, that's the purpose, right? Huh?
With a lot of pots and pans hanging from the ceiling.
Who do you think the intended audience is?
I mean, neighbors and or anyone interested in those specs. Well, we don't see the specs, so.
There's big reclining seats and pots and pans. I mean, definitely very homey people, right? Okay, so you want to think like who's the audience if you show this, like who's going to be attracted to it, right? So whatever you create. Okay, how would you improve this?
Oh, where do we start?
Hmm?
I said, where do we start? For me, but I'm so picky.
How would you improve this? Well, let's say that that's the only photo you have. So just think about the other stuff on it.
So sorry, how would we improve the house, or how would we?
No,
improve
the marketing piece, the marketing piece. You're like, let me renovate.
I know, I'm like, where do we start?
No, so let's just say that that's just what the house is, but you have to make your marketing look nice. What would you do to this?
I mean, I would put the specs on there, maybe not the price, but I would say how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many square feet probably. Because that's gonna be a very specific thing that your demographic is looking for.
Yep, you can do a call to action without giving all the information, but you do want to give people a little bit of information. And I'm going to talk about that when we run the Facebook ad, because otherwise it's like, you kind of piss them off. Have you ever clicked on something and you can't get there unless you sign in and you're just like,
Yes.
I don't want to, you have to give them a little bit, right? Okay, I would personally, my mind goes to how freaking busy this is. So why do we have to have this font and that font and that font and that font and then more things, more people, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you have a logo that's totally different font. The only consistent thing in this whole thing is that there's gray here and there's gray there. But here it's transparent and there it's not, and here you have no gray behind this. It's just like, what, you know, I mean, you look at this and you think someone barfed all over the thing, right? So think of it, I mean, it's not that important for it to be so beautiful, but I just, you know, it's your stuff, right? You're putting out your reputation out there in the world. And it's so simple not to butcher things like this on command, okay? What other method of marketing could they have used to serve the same purpose?
Well, what method is this one technically? What was this created to be? A flyer, a postcard, a social post?
It looks like a postcard to me, but I mean, yeah, so they created this visual marketing piece, whether it was a flyer or a postcard, invite. What else can they do to attract people to their open house?
Well, door knocking, hand whatever the printed piece is out. Run a Facebook ad, social ad in general.
Ads, you could call the neighborhood, right?
I think we should put some candies in front of doors, like everybody come from candies.
Some kind of what?
Some candies,
Candy.
yeah.
Yeah, you can knock the door, yeah, you don't have to picture the ugly house, if it's ugly. You can door knock the area and have some candy or whatever, right? Or something like that, if that's what you mean. But, yeah.
Like Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have some options, right? So you gotta think like, okay, this is what I have to work with. It's gonna sell in today's market. It's crazy. So this half of this stuff like doesn't apply because it could be a complete dump and it's gonna sell, right?
Well, this even would be cool. Throw some white paint on the exposed brick, like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't take a whole lot to make this really strikingly beautiful, but.
Or ask your clients to declutter beforehand.
100%.
Take away the little weird chair by the fireplace. You guys see that kid chair?
And replace the TV.
Yeah, so I don't know, there's just a lot going on here, right?
Chords, I just can't.
TV should be-
I couldn't do the words.
All right, what about this one? So what is this meant to do?
Give you market updates on your neighborhood.
Specific neighborhood, right?
Yes, I mean, not your neighborhood necessarily.
Okay. Who's the intended audience?
I mean, I would say anyone who's
Think the
looking to
low
sell.
budget? Low budget?
So-
It's like 360 people, so.
Yeah, so the intended audience could be people who have at some point expressed interest, like maybe you hosted an open house in this area and you got a bunch of leads from that area. And now you have them in your command, right? And you know they were looking in that area. Only one person can get the house, right? So there's plenty of people still looking. So maybe it's those people, right? You send the market updates to the ones that you meet at open houses. For example, if you know your friends live here, you may want to have them on these, right? You put that neighborhood in, whatever neighborhood it is. But you can also send this if you know where your referral business is coming from. How can you know that? How do you know where people are moving to Torrance from? It's in command.
Command, like a referral.
There's on command, if you go to referrals tab, you can see where from Torrance we sent most of our referrals out to. And you can say incoming, and you'll see where all the people, what percentage of all the incoming referrals came from where.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna show you, okay. It's so awesome, and the only reason we are able to have this information is because we have artificial intelligence because of how many KW agents exist, right? So agent.
For the never done.
It never knows me.
Remember sort of spanky something was.
I did this right. No, I didn't. Filling up. There we go. All right, on the side here, referrals tab. Map. All right, instead of looking for agents and with how much they sold, you're gonna go referral patterns. Watch this. Ding. Do you see that? So you could run an ad like that. And so these are the ones that we sent out, right? Look, you can switch it over.
I don't understand exactly what it's implying or what we're looking at. So it's saying that so you market it and these are the people who clicked on your marketing
So
or were interested?
In the
or-
last 12 months,
Okay,
from here in Torrance, our specific area,
okay.
this is the places where we sent referrals to.
Okay.
So this is where people from here were moving to, right? So an agent here sent a referral. I sent a referral to Portland, for example, right? So this is everybody, not just you, right? It's everybody. This is referrals.
Okay.
So then if you swap this over to received,
And, yeah.
you can see where people moved to Torrance from.
I see now, okay.
Okay, so I could run an ad now, and if 23% of the people that moved here moved from Portland, Oregon last year, right? I might want to advertise up there what we have in Torrance. So when you run ads, you can center the ad around a specific area, like target a specific area where it runs. So for instance, people in Portland would see it,
Okay.
right? For this area.
Yeah.
The other thing you would want to think about here is you may want to have if this is who's sending people here, wouldn't you want to know someone in these cities
Right.
who
So
can
that-
send them to you?
Yeah, so that when people come to them and say, hey, we're moving to California, do you know anybody? You're the first. Yeah, brilliant. I love that.
Right? So now you're like, oh, I got to meet someone in Portland. You're going to go over here to switch it back over to production. And you can go here to Portland. So you can either type it in or you can just kind of zoom in. Right? And when you start getting closer, it's going to start populating some agents in here for you. See all those agents now? So let's just say you go over here. And gets even tighter. Look at all these agents. So now you have them by production up here on the side. So you can kind of see like who sold what. Why they're not highlighted. I guess there's still too many, but if you like go in here, let's say someone's looking, or this is an area, you can see all the people that have sold stuff in this area. Okay, like Sarita, she's a really big agent. She's always on TV with Gary and stuff. So now you can go to Sarita's and you can actually connect with her. And here's her information, by the way, right? So you could call and be like, hey, Sarita, I live here in this area. You guys we got 23% of all of our referrals from Portland last year. Do you already have a partner in Torrance? Can we be referral network partners? And then, so you have, you know, you can exchange your numbers and whatever, but you can just add her right here to your network, and then that's how you would send a referral there. So you just click this to request her, right? And then now it goes into your network, so you can see all the people that you've connected with like this. Okay. All right, so referrals are a totally different marketing thing. So back to this. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. So there's that. So then, what do you guys think qualifies as a successful marketing piece?
It feels vague. Actually. It feels a bit like a vague question, so I don't have.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
What do you guys get any like emails from like some of your favorite brands and stuff into your email? I think I would take a look at what things are appealing to you. What do you keep around and what do you don't ever open? And think about what it means to you. Like, why is it appealing to you? Because it's not always just the content, right? I have a bunch of friends who own various types of businesses around the country, and I don't buy from them because I'm not there, or I don't use it. Like my friend Kimmy has a lash salon, but it's in Portland. So I'm not using her services. I'm not in Portland for that. But I keep her newsletter because it's so freaking cute. I'm like, I'm so attracted to the whole thing, right? And so think about what's attracting you to someone else, because most likely, you know, people are going to work with you because of who you are, not like the best real estate information. It's going to be, oh yeah, I want to do business like that or that, right? That's why people call me, because I'm always like, what the heck is this wine cabinet? Or look at this tennis court. And people are like, hey, so we need to find, you know, something with character, and like, I know, or in this area, but you know, and so that's how my deals happen personally. All right, so any ahas on this stuff so far?
I mean, that referral piece was something that I hadn't clicked on yet or known existed, so that was an aha for me, and I have a bajillion other questions, right? Because I haven't used it yet. But
Yeah. The referral network is awesome. So that's been running, that's part of the reason we created our own technology, is because we can have that data and keep it within us. So that's only KW agents on there. Of course, you can send a referral to anyone, but that thing is really cool, because if I went to go hit the other button where it sends the referral to Sarita, you put in all of your, let's say I have a buyer for Portland, right? And I send it to Sarita and I put all the buyer information, their timeline, their price range, whatever I know, notes about him, their contact info. And then you put what percentage you want, like 25% or whatever on there. She can't see the buyer information until she accepts your fee.
that was literally my next question. I was like, so, because I have someone in Omaha.
Yeah.
And originally I was gonna refer them to someone that is a real estate agent, not KW, that I have in Omaha. And so I was like, we need to get on the phone with her first. And make like a verbal agreement, then send her the actual agreement before you send any contact information. This is so, it streamlines that whole thing, it sounds like.
And I've had people tell me, I sent a referral out to some booty area before that I didn't want to go to, and I did all that. So I called the agent, will you take care of my client? Will you take 25% referral fee, you know, to me, and all this stuff? And she's like, yeah, you know, and I think it was like a commercial deal or something. So I didn't know anything about it, right? But this client, okay, so then she agrees to it on the phone. Then I send her the form without the client info, right? She signs it. Then I finally have to get her the client info. Hey, please connect, or do an intro email or whatever. And then freaking 2 weeks later, she calls me and she said, yeah, you know, we had our buyer consultation, and they told me that they've been interviewing agents. So this isn't a real referral. I was like, excuse me, yes it is, and you signed a contract. And she's like, no, the contract you sent me doesn't even have the buyer information on it. And I'm like, yeah, because that's how we work.
That's how it works.
Like, she's trying not to, and then finally she's like, all right, fine. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So, it will be that person, obviously, but like some people come from scarcity, you know, with everything. So it's like, really, 25%, do you care? And they chose her. So she's like, but she was trying to say like, oh, I had to reconvince them. Like, stop. Stop it, lady. Okay, what about this one? What's the purpose of this one? Kind of like a team advertising like how well they're doing, maybe. So they have the new listings there, and then they're showing what they already have pending, right? Armstrong and Co. It's all in the details. Why do they have that there?
Well, that strikes me that might be their tagline.
Yeah.
Or their slogan.
They're talking, this is an ego thing, kind of. But it's fine. You want to show people how you're doing, right? But so this would be something that can be on a website or right, or not on a post. This is probably a postcard. Interesting, right? All right. So designs. I'm gonna do a Facebook ads class at noon. But so we're not gonna talk about that, but I do want to show you the other stuff. Now, when we have a Zoom open, typically a command slows down a little bit, so I apologize, but you would go, I want to show you a couple things real quick. In your design library, you're gonna see slightly different things than mine because I have like if you're in leadership, then you're gonna see more like leadership oriented stuff, just so you know. Let's just say social, right? So free social posting, not paid ads, just free. And your calendar, do you use this for like scheduling posts? No, you just do mostly organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So say that you create your Facebook page, right, your business page. And now you need some content there, right? So it's not totally blank. You can automate it from here. So I'll show you how to do that in 1 second, but you could go in here and create all kinds of things. Like under listings, you're gonna see like different local expert pieces, right? So you can take these and add the numbers in from your MLS to give people market updates. But what I love about this is that they have the different formats here. So you can do like social for the stories. If you want to have stories, right? Trend alerts, replace the photo with something cool you saw, right? And then there's a million stock option photos in here as well. So like if one of these doesn't look like your neighborhood, then, you know, then change it. Like if it looks like an East Coast property, you know, like the Hamptons or something, or like up there in Maine, what do you call that with the fall foliage and like, you know, like all the coastal like Cape Cod style homes.
Yeah,
You're like, that's not California, you're not, you know. So change the photo to look like whatever. But I mean, there's a million different ways to get people to engage with you, and a lot of it has to, I would say that if you think about like HGTV, what people watch on that, it's home improvements, do-it-yourself projects, tips, how-tos, right, like updates. So like this one is like if there's a new color, you guys know that you can Google like color of the year. You can Google nail polish color of the season, right? And it will bring up the nail polish colors of the season. So now you can, you know, put the color name there, you know, choose a photo that has something like our color in it, right? But this is pretty cool because then you can just easily add anything you want in here, like your logo. So there's a generic one in there. Very strange spot. So like I could put my photo right here, not in the background maybe. Oops, what happened?
I think it's just big, maybe, so you'd have to resize it down. Is that what's happening? But it's just bigger.
What is that? Oh, it's the frame.
Yeah, they have.
Okay, I really butchered this one, sorry guys.
I don't know what I did. Just hit back. Right? Previous.
It's trying to put me into the big frame, but I don't want that.
Okay, so this is because the Zoom is like pretty crazy. Okay, so forget this. It doesn't, I kind of said this.
Save
That's
it.
what happens. Okay.
Winner.
So, okay, now I want to tell you something else. Ever see a really great marketing piece and you're like, God, I wish I didn't have to recreate the whole damn thing if I could just tweak it to look like me? You can put a PDF in here and the system will break it down. Like scan in or put a PDF in of anything like this, if you wanted to, right? And it will break it down for you and you can add your own colors. Like I saw this really awesome 3Max booklet one time, right? It was like, it was on there like some sort of a luxury culture or something. They did a great job making this, it was like a little booklet, right? And I'm like, if I could just take this, because they're all pictures of Redondo Beach, right? It's for specifically to this area, not a general nationwide campaign. Like somebody here created it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to put my like, I want to take that and make everything red instead of blue. Like, I'm not saying copyright infringement, okay? I didn't say that. But what I'm saying is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you see something really great, a PDF of anything, like you Google something, or even on Canva, if you wanted to move something from Canva over to here because you needed to use some of your logos or photos or whatever you have set up in there, you can do that and you can still edit it.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that's a little complex, but I'm just saying there's lots of ways to do this stuff. Now, this is what I would say is the important thing. So that's in your designs down here, but in campaigns, this is where you would run any kind of controlled campaign, right? So up here you have paid ads, emails, direct mail, and social posts. So social posts, you have a calendar right here. You can expand this to look like a month if you want. So check this out. If I have 5 minutes in my Sunday afternoon and I want to schedule all my posts for the week, I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to put something on the 7th here. And I'm going to browse my designs library of something I already created. Let's say I just created that, or I created that, or I created, any of these things you created in there. Right? So look at this all in Malibu. Gonna put that in there. And what the best thing about many of these things is that it will actually dang it, leaking. Hold on. Do you want to leave this page? Yes. Okay, so but that's what you would do to create one. Now, there's a whole bunch of quick posts right here on the side. So let's say that I need a video for tomorrow. Okay, I can take this, post it. It wants to know a 0277.
I wish on like those ones, you could just pick 3 colors in your own color palette and it would switch those
You get
pieces
what?
of the video.
The 3.
Yeah, like 3 things that are in your marketing color palette, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them just don't match my particular branding
Oh yeah,
color
totally.
palette, so I kind of stray from them, even though it's good content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one, the video you can't change,
Yeah.
but
And it makes
okay, so take a look at this. So you just click through and it's gonna create a video for you. And in 10 seconds, you're gonna be able to see it, unless you're on Zoom at the same time, it probably won't work. But now it's gonna open it up and it already has like text and everything. So now I could watch this video. Right? sometimes realtors put stuff in wrong, and this is just doing not, we're not controlling the home, it's pulling from the MLS. And so if it's like specific area that you have, like only one, like that neighborhood was so small that there was only one listing in that whole neighborhood, and then it never sold or something, like the data gets all skewed. Yeah. So you take a look at them. Sometimes it's not the best. Like that's why I tell my virtual assistant does all things for me, and so I tell her like, just look at it beforehand. Because one time it said like average price in this neighborhood is $1,400, and it's because somebody put a lease or a listing, a lease in as a listing, like, you know, I don't know. So you never know. Yeah. But anyway, so you can then, you know, save and post this. But what I love about the quick posts is that they give you, or maybe they don't. Not on the video, it doesn't give you any text. So you could write something like, here's what's happening in Redondo Beach. But if you take one of these, like, let's say that I want to post this one. I'm just going to use this real quick. See how it already has a text, right? If you just need some content, it already has, look, what makes working with Keller Mortgage a world-class experience, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's say I don't like that. Shuffle. Yeah. Providing great people, blah, 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 send me a DM. Look. So you don't even have to write the caption. And it gives you some ideas, and you can book one of these in. If you select one of these quick posts, look, it's all here. Say I like that one. I just put when do I want it to post here. So let's say I want to post on Monday, and you can even choose time of day, or you can publish immediately. And then you can make it go to Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want it to go, right? And connect all your accounts, and then you're just gonna do this. So it's ready to go. I mean, that's like one thing, it takes less than 1 minute if you're not having to write anything on it, right? So now it's scheduled there, and now I can see that there's a, you know, it's here right now, right? So you could do this, and then you do your organic posts, right, on like your own time when you actually feel inspired. So you're not like having to come up with stuff, you know? So you use the tools, because this is a really great scheduler that doesn't normally, you know, somebody would have to usually pay for a service like this, right?
Awesome.
Like,
you can not use whatever, I can upload my own.
you can use
photo
anything.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you can go all the way from scratch, or you can pull it from command, or you can pull it from your own computer, or whatever.
I might start doing that then, just to schedule it, and it automates it then for you
Yeah.
onto the,
Yeah.
amazing. I might do that. Okay.
And you can do it like, I think on here, he was saying like, do 2 posts a day, like one at 8 a.m. and one at 4 p.m. And I'm like, that's a lot, but I mean, you can. So you can do multiples per day too.
Sure. Cool.
Okay. So I'm gonna end this here. But hopefully just think about your marketing a little bit, right? Like, how do you bring the stuff that people want and bring your value conversation into it? That's what needs to happen, because otherwise nobody cares. Right? Meet them where they are. Same pace, right? Okay, guys. Well, thanks for being here. I'm gonna go hop on my laptop to do a Facebook ads class. So if anybody wants to join us, it will be my link. All right, so we'll be talking about paid ads. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.